Welcome to the Wrote by Me podcast, where we discuss where you have been, what you have done, and where you are going with our guests. We hope to provide you, our listeners, a new perspective and an incredible person to connect with. And today, we have an absolutely sensational, fabulous, fantastic, incredible guest in Chip Baker. Chip, welcome to the show. Tell the people more about you, your story, and, where you've been. We would love to hear more.
Me, man,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just an ordinary guy working real hard to achieve some extraordinary things, my man. Man, just grateful for every opportunity. Fourth
Mm-hmm.
generation educator, teacher, former coach. Blessed and fortunate to be raised by some great people as well as be around some awesome folks to learn from.
Mm-hmm.
Started my YouTube channel podcast, the Success Chronicles, about 8 years ago. And what I do
Wow.
is I just interview people from all walks of life and share their stories for positive inspiration and motivation. About 5.5 years ago, started writing books.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and to the date, it's been 15 books I've written or been a part of. And some of those have been bestsellers. And so, man, just brings me to where we are now, man. Small town Texas guy from humble beginnings to ambassador, advisor, and board member now. So just blessed to achieve some really neat things.
And that's incredible. What I mean, look, a fourth generation teacher, that's really incredible, but to then
Yeah.
it seems like you've parlayed this process into something, I mean, even more than maybe you originally believed. What do you think is the driver for you that's helped you be able to just create so much?
I think the ability, a long time ago, I realized that by my actions and by the things that I do on a day to day basis, I
Mm-hmm.
have an opportunity to make a positive difference in the life of others.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, man, when I had that epiphany, it really just set me on fire and showed me that, like, man, anything that I want to achieve in life, I can do it to show others that they can as well. And so I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what the drive is for me, is just striving to make a positive difference in the life of others. And I
Mm.
know that, I've seen in my life that, as I've strived to do that, I've been okay and taken care of. My family's been taken care of because I've
Mm.
strived to do things the right way and help others.
That's awesome. You've
Yeah.
done some pretty incredible things. What I'm sure there's some people out there who thought about writing a book, but you've written a couple of books, like you said, even had like some best-selling books.
Yeah.
What would you say is maybe the first step for people out there to take to maybe start that journey of maybe writing a book?
Start writing. you know, like like I'm a simple guy. Like I'm real simple. Like, bro, if I'm gonna write a book, I gotta start writing.
Yeah,
you
hundred
know,
percent.
I think that's the first thing. I think when you can gather, and of course it's more complex than that. I try to make it simple, but really what I mean by that is, find a system that works for you to gather
Mm,
your thoughts and get your thoughts down on paper, if you will. Now
mm,
it's technology. Like, I use my notes in my phone to just brainstorm and dump ideas. And then from
same.
there, I transfer that and organize that, put it in Word, and then make it look. So, I mean, like, figure out what your system is
Hmm.
that helps you to get the knowledge that you want to get out on paper, if you will.
Hmm.
So that I think that would be the first step.
Hmm. Hmm. I feel that 100%. Well, I mean, thinking about books, what are you working on right now? What's sort of next for you, or you're working on in the moment?
Yeah, so right now, man, I mean, I always have ideas that come up as far as things. I actually was brainstorming on some stuff this morning on some ideas,
Hmm. Hmm.
speech ideas, book ideas, and I'm
Mm,
always in that process because I'm a hyper aware guy, right? And I know that me having awareness of different things that I experience, like, I can speak about those things, I can write about those things, and
mm,
and they're real things, right?
hmm.
Like, it's not
Hmm.
like, I don't feel like you can just give like fluff, like, right? I'm gonna give you the real, like, that's
Hmm.
Chip. Like,
Hmm.
I'm gonna give you the genuine real every
Yeah.
time you come in contact with me or a book or something I've done. And so I think for me, not necessarily books is my focus right now.
Hmm.
Um, of course, that's going to come, but my
Hmm.
main focus right now being, beginning of the school year, just pouring into others, encouraging others, um, and speaking life into others,
Hmm.
and all the other stuff, like books, best-selling books. I think that's the byproduct of
I feel that.
striving to do things the right way.
I feel that 100%.
Yeah,
What you just made a point about doing things the right way. Do you have sort of an ethos that you live by or work by?
go get it. Come
How,
on,
how how'd you end up doing that? How'd you
come
end up
on,
coming up with
man.
that?
So I've always had like self-talk. I think that self-talk is important, right? You have to say positive things to yourself. You have to encourage yourself. I think if you don't do that,
Hmm.
who else will, right? Some of
Hmm.
us are blessed to have people, and I was blessed to have people in my life that positively encouraged me, right?
Hmm.
Which is really where I learned all of that from too.
Hmm.
But you have to figure out ways to push yourself and encourage yourself so that you have continued growth. And so growing up, man, I as an athlete, I would have things that I would say to myself: up your game, push yourself, let's get better. In different phases of my life was different things. And
Hmm.
so when I graduated, college, I set out some pretty hefty goals for myself.
Hmm.
When I got my bachelor's degree, by 30, I want to have my master's. By this, I want to have this, right? And so I knew that in order for me to reach those goals, bro, I'm gonna have to go get it.
Hmm.
you know. And so like it started out with me saying those things that to myself, go get it, let's go get it. Then as I was in coaching, it would come out and I would say it to others, hey, let's go get it. And then they
Hmm.
started saying it back to me, right? Like, oh, okay, let's go get it. And so now like it's a thing, man. That's my thing. I actually can't see my shirt, but like that, like I live by that. Like it's not like I said earlier, it's not a fluff thing. Like
Hmm.
every day I get up, every moment of each day, like, I'm trying to live, go get it. Like I'm not just
Hmm.
saying it, I'm trying to live it.
Hmm. Hmm. I feel that 100%. Man, that's deep. And I when I do my TikTok lives, I take a minute to tell people that like I think they're amazing, they're incredible,
Yeah.
they're fantastic, they're sensational. And I mean, you hear me use those words all the time too, but I remember when I first started trying to say that to myself, it felt uncomfortable. And
Hmm.
it was uncomfortable, I think, because I had never said those words. So it was like, who are you to be saying that you are these things or any of those. And I definitely think using words like go get it or reminding yourself that you are fantastic or any of those
Yeah.
can be the
Yep.
difference in achieving some of your goals or just feeling like you're supposed to be where you're at if you're not happy with where you are. So I'm with the positive self-talk. I think is everything for sure. 100%.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think too, how you said like the feeling of uncomfort.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, in like anything, when you have those feelings,
Mm-hmm.
um, we have to learn to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then when we can allow ourselves to be in that uncomfortable space, man, on the other side of that uncomfort is our maximum growth,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so it's important for us to go get it and push ourselves and get out of our comfort zone every day. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you don't do that, then like you said, you'll be in the same place. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
growth. And I think at the end of the day, when you look back on it, if you allow yourself to do that, you won't have regrets. You'll be glad that you chose to get out there and get uncomfortable because you'll love the results. And that in lies the actions, right? You don't have to be uncomfortable because it's just putting in the work.
Mm-hmm.
Put the work in. Go get it. Go make it happen.
Mm-hmm. With everybody, with you pushing people to go get it, and you pushing to go get it, what would you say is your dream of reality, I guess, or your dream of like where of what maybe you want to what change you want to see in the world as everyone is out here, if you could have it your way, how would you want to see the world change or see people go get it?
Man, I think it's enough out there for everybody to win.
Mm.
And winning comes in various forms. I think winning is synonymous with success, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think success is synonymous with having the discipline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Discipline um, gives you the freedom. Discipline allows you the freedom to be happy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, like, it's a process with everything you do. And so, I think, man, if you can have that self discipline, do those things the right way. I think that, man, if we all can live in that manner, I think mind your business. I think the I think the world would be a whole lot better place. I think it would be a place of respect, which is
Mm-hmm.
what we need to get to. I think it would be a place of just having pure, genuine love for one another,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of race, creed, sex, whatever, man. Just show love to people. Like it ain't about you. It's bigger than you. I
I feel
think
that.
that I think when we can allow ourselves to do those things, it will make our world a better place for sure.
I agree with that, man. I also one of the things I just to add on to what you're saying because I do agree with it so much. I think a lot of people aren't sure what success is for them. Like their success
Yeah,
is in comparison to someone else. And
right.
sometimes, people reach out to me all the time just talking about different things. They're like, "Oh man, if I just had what you had or if I was where you were at or if I just had these things in my life, then things would be better." And my response is just always like, how do you know that that would actually make the difference? Like, how many times have you gotten to the place you dreamed of getting to, and then you realized that there was more that you needed in order to feel happy? You needed to win more, you needed to do more, you needed to be
Yeah,
more. I think that you got to learn I think to some extent you got to learn what actually matters to you because I don't know if a lot of people really know what genuinely matters to them. Not like it matters to me because of what other people will see or think, but it just matters to me. Like I'd love to be able to, like I love personal development. I love getting to do this stuff
yeah,
with you and
yeah,
other people.
yeah,
I would do this regardless of if anyone ever watched it again because I feel like this moment gives me so much. I just enjoy the space. Like how
yeah.
many times do we really do things and in that moment you're like, man, if nothing even comes of this, I'm really happy I did this today. And it's like,
Oh, for sure.
not many, but I feel
You
that
know,
on.
yeah, I think, man, what you talked about there, that's a whole nother podcast series.
Yeah.
Because I think that's so deep. I think on one level, the first thing, like we always hear, comparison is the thief of joy.
hmm
And so the goal is not to compare yourself to others. The
hmm
goal is to be the best version of you,
Yeah.
right? And if we can focus in on being the best version of ourselves, we'll wholeheartedly achieve any goal that we set out to achieve because
hmm
we're going hard on being the best versions of ourselves. And so,
Right.
man, I think that's where it's at right there.
100%. I'm with you. I feel like we all have the opportunity for peace and happiness. The question is, can you let go of what you think you need in order to have it? That's what I always find myself
Yeah,
asking. Because it's always something in the way. Like, oh man, if I just had this, if I was married, if I had gotten this job, if I get this thing, then I'll be happy. And it always ends up not being the case. But I do want to ask you, you do have a book out now, right? Love to hear
yes,
more
sir.
about it. Talk to the people. Let them know what you got.
So right now we have the Impact of Influence, Volume 6 out.
hmm
It's the most recent book,
hmm
and really the whole Impact of Influence series. All of us, I don't care who you are, have been influenced by something or someone
hmm
in our life, right? And it's influenced us in such a manner that it's impacted us and caused us to be who we are.
hmm
And
hmm
so in the book series, it's some powerful influencers that are doing great things to make a positive difference in our world. And they're just sharing, you know, that impactful, influential person, influential scenario that impacted them,
hmm
what they learned from it, and then
hmm
how they're using that to be a blessing to others in our
hmm
world to make our world better. And
hmm
so that's what the volume 6 as well as the impact of influence series is about. It's all different authors
Okay.
um, telling their story. And so the beauty of it is, you get one book, but you have, almost 20 stories, right? So
Mm.
it's not a, one author deal. Like it's some amazing stories and journeys that we can all learn from.
Wow. That's awesome. Of all the books that you've been a part of and written, what would you say do you have a favorite?
That's a good that's a good question, man.
Yeah.
Um, I think first off, coming from where I'm from, I didn't grow up knowing like people that wrote books. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just glad to be here.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
You know, I'm man, it's all been my favorite. Like just to be able to do it is my favorite. What you talking about?
I
No,
understand that.
but I think different purposes. I'm gonna go two. So
Mm-hmm.
the impact of influence, like I said, it's a series, and that is one of the two favorites because there are people in the books that are first time authors.
Mm-hmm.
There are people in the books that wanted to be authors. There's seasoned authors in there as well. But just to know that I've been able to put something together that will make generational change. Like I've talked to mothers that are excited and happy that their daughter or son is an author, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen uh, like kids, and I got a couple of pictures where like at books signings, where like the kid of the author is like holding the book, like reading the book, their parents' chapter, like in awe, right?
That's awesome.
So it's like things like that, like, and even one scenario, one of my guys that's in one of the books, like his son decided to become an author because he saw that his dad is an author, and
Wow.
that we can do that too.
Wow. That's
And so
awesome.
like I think that's the first piece, but then the second one is Stay on the Right Path is my
Mm-hmm.
kids book,
Mm-hmm.
that I released last Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
and it's my favorite because it's a conversation between my son and I.
Mm.
And so my hope is that in my family, it will be able to be passed down through generations to help them stay on the right path and have success in my family. And so
That's awesome.
that's why I just couldn't give one answer. That's why it was two for me. So really, really grateful to be able to do the Impact of Influence series.
Mm-hmm.
Truly grateful to do the kids book, Stay on the Right Path.
I feel that. What do you have? Well, like specifically, are there any things in particular we're gonna see you at in the near future, or like what in particular are you working on right now as like as next?
Yeah, so really heavily doing lots of speaking engagements right now.
Okay.
Just sharing the impact of influence message, doing
Mm-hmm.
some leadership development. With school leaders,
Mm-hmm.
business leaders. I have some contracts with some corporate groups,
That's awesome.
doing leadership development.
Mm-hmm.
Pouring into students and athletes. So that's kind of my jam right now, as far as the focus today at this moment,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
In the season that we're in, as far as the time, like I said, finishing up summer, going into the beginning of the school year, it's that
Mm-hmm.
time of everybody's developing and reassessing, you know, what their year's going to be. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's where I am right now. And then, of course, like eventually down the road, doing more books and those kind of things.
That's awesome. That's incredible.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you. I guess it's not a personal question, but from what are three books that you would say changed like your life? That I mean, I know your books changed your life for sure, but maybe just some books that you would tell the people, like, oh man, these books you should definitely check out. They changed my life.
Man, that's so good. Um, of course, Think and Grow Rich. I'm gonna go classic.
Classic Napoleon Hill. Yeah,
On
of course.
yeah, that gotta go that one.
Hmm.
Of course, the Bible. I mean, I gotta throw
NOG.
the yeah, throw the Bible in there.
Uh
But
huh.
but I think I love the John Gordon books.
Okay.
Um, the Energy Bus was a great one, and,
Mm.
and, and of course Eric Thomas's books. But
Mm.
man, okay, my most recent. Let me share this most
Okay.
recent one, man.
Uh huh.
Is T.D. Jakes' Disruptive Thinking.
I, you're the fourth person who's told me about this book. Is it good?
That thing is amazing, man. And
Okay.
and I did the audio book on that one because I knew I wanted to get to it quick when it came out,
Mm.
and I wasn't gonna have time to just sit and read.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But man, it is packed with gems that
Hmm.
we can take and apply to help us be better.
Mm. Okay, I feel that. I feel that. That's awesome. That's incredible. Now here is the personal question. If you could go back, talk to your 18-year-old self. You know, you get to sit down. Y'all are across from each other, and you can tell him anything. What would you iterate to him?
Man, keep doing what you're doing, dog. You're gonna do some big stuff that's gonna really surprise you. Just
That's
keep doing
incredible.
what you're doing because what you're doing works.
Ain't that the truth, man? You are one of the most inspiring people I've ever met. So you're not
Thank you,
lying.
brother.
You just gonna let them know. Um, so I also want to do. So normally, people will ask the thing of like what you got going on, but I want to
Hmm.
be able to ask, how can we support you? Like, what kind of things are
Yeah,
you looking for? If someone's thinking like, man, I want to be able to support Chip. Like, what can
yeah,
they do? How can they reach out to you? What can we show up to? What you got?
yeah. Man, I love that. Thanks so much for that. I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
think for me, just helping spread the word of what I do. I'm always looking for opportunities to pour into others and to
Mm-hmm.
give service. So always
Mm-hmm.
looking for opportunities to speak to all types of groups.
Mm.
Um, of course, check out the books.
Mm-hmm.
You can get them for presents for people that you care about. Then
Mm-hmm.
on the social media side, all of my social media is at Chip Baker TSC, as in the Success Chronicles, except for Twitter, and Twitter is Chip Baker 19.
Mm-hmm.
But the normal stuff like people say, like, follow, subscribe, all of that stuff. Yeah, do that. But really, for me, like I said, I learned a long time ago in my life that it ain't about me. It's
Mm-hmm.
bigger than me. And
Mm.
so, like, if you see something on any of that stuff that you like, and someone that you care about comes to heart for you, and you feel that they would benefit from it, I just ask that you would just please share it with them because that will make our world better.
I like that. Well, I'm definitely going to share the book out with some people, and it's going to be the
Yeah,
link is in the description form, as well as your Rope by Me link is in there so that they can check out everything pretty quick. And
yeah.
I just want you to know, man, I'm so thankful for you and the positivity that you have. There's a lot of people will talk a talk, be excited. Hey, man, it's so cool. I like what you're doing. How can I help you? But then when the time comes, the rubber meets the road. A lot of times people. It's not, I don't even think that it's their fault, but just aren't always able to execute. And you've always been
Mm,
an executor. You've always, every time I talk to you, it's like, oh, okay, cool. You say you're gonna do something, it's like, boom, done. So, I mean, you are absolutely incredible, man. Really, really enjoy getting to talk to you.
yeah.
Um, I,
Thank you.
of course, man. And so to everyone, make sure to check out Chip's book. He's doing absolutely incredible things. If you're looking for somebody for a speaking engagement, make sure to reach out. All of his links are going to be here in the bio. Chip, what would you like to leave the people with? How would you like to? What's the kind of a last thing you want to say to the people?
So I'm gonna go with this is my tagline that I use on
Hmm.
my YouTube channel and my podcast, and
Hmm.
and it's my tagline because I wholeheartedly, with everything I got, believe it, and every time I say it, it gives me chills. Right?
Mm.
So the phrase, I'm gonna give you the phrase, and I'm gonna go back and explain the phrase. The
Okay.
phrase, it's live, learn, serve, inspire, go get it. And so for me, it's important when you look at living, it's important to live a life where you live, right? Like none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. The goal is to do the best you can with what you got and live. And along the journey of living, you'll learn so much, right? The learn piece. Yes, you'll learn about the world. Yes, you'll learn about the environment, but the big picture is you'll learn so much about yourself, right? And then when you learn about yourself and what you love and what your passion is and who you are and what you're about, it's important to make sure that you take that and serve people. It ain't about you, right? Like, you've been blessed to have some talents, so take those talents and use those to be a blessing to someone else. And when you do that, it allows you to inspire. And a lot of times when you're grinding, just doing your thing, you just think like you're just doing your thing, getting through those tough times. But what you don't realize that people see that, and it's inspiring, right? So keep pushing and doing that. And so, in order to achieve anything of significance, it's not gonna come to you. You got to dang go get it.
Gotta go get it. I absolutely love it, man. You're so amazing, and I'm just so thankful to get to even have you here. And I'm
Yes,
thankful to
sir.
everybody who even tuned in. I know it's going to be absolutely incredible. Make sure to check out Chip's book. Make sure to connect with him. He's absolutely incredible. Again, this is the Road by Me podcast. We were able to discuss where you've been, what you've been
Yes,
doing,
sir.
and where you're going. And we hope that we were able to provide you all with a new perspective. And we know for sure a great person to connect with. So make sure to reach out to Chip. Feel free to reach out to us. We love you to death. Thank you guys so much.
Go get it.